that idea of nurturing your creative side of your brain, you do that a lot.
Oh, all the time. I don't know when I don't do that. I'm addicted. I can't not. If I look back in time and try and think of a time that I didn't have some sort of creative project or practice on the go, alongside my studies and my jobs, I've always had something as well. And when I finish that thing, I move on to another. I've got like a backlog of things that I want to do creatively. And actually, my granddad, who I started talking about, said something that sticks in my mind all the time. My granddad said to us when he was alive, there aren't enough lifetimes to do all the things that I want to do. And I feel the exact same way. If I could reinvent myself 100 times to just pursue all these different things I want to do, I would do it in a heartbeat, but I can't. Because there's just, my brain is just electric all the time for creativity. It's just hardwired that way. I don't know where it came from. It could be writing, photography, drawing, illustrating, anything at all. It doesn't matter to me what it is.
But it can even just be the simple act of thinking, of being in your head, like you say, and creating whatever.
Just imagining, just dreaming.
Yeah,
oh,
just
yeah.
dreaming.
I'm a daydreamer. Yeah. Sometimes I just stare at a wall. I'm not thinking nothing. Because I know in meditation, they teach you to clear your mind.
I find that really hard.
I can't do it.
No. I think for me, it's very much just like slowing down. But that makes me think more. And it actually makes me more creative because I get well into it. Like the music, the slow pace. And all of a sudden, my brain's going fucking mad. And I'm like, well, this isn't going to help, is it?
No,
so I do find it very, very hard.
Do we think then that maybe the quieter your space is, the more creative you can be? I don't know. Is there some sort of correlation with that?
I don't know if it's like quieter, but I feel like a stillness allows for me to focus more. There's less distraction, not all the time. There's a lot of stimuli. And doing that for me just seems to make me focus more on the right areas to find where those ideas are or where those thoughts are.
It's interesting because earlier we were obviously speaking about doom scrolling and social media. And obviously when you fall down that wishing well, it's very, very noisy.
Oh, it's just awful as well.
It's very, very noisy. And I would go so far as to say I do think it kills creativity because when you're sucked into that vortex of social media and all the content and the overwhelm and the noise that you were just saying the opposite of, it's very hard to stay in tune with your creativity when you're just sucked into that oblivion of stuff.
Well, but also for me, it's hard because so much of social media is so built around this facade of it's creative to be on social media.
Yeah.
And whilst it can be, only within a very prescribed way that you're allowed to be creative on there.
Yeah.
Within a certain time frame, to a certain audience with a certain attention span. It's not actually for you either.
No.
It's for approval. Yes, fine, we all like a like. We all like to be told that we're doing well. I don't think it actually helps nurture the creative side of you that is just for you and is going to benefit you.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think you do become a slave to the system when you start putting content on social platforms because whilst they're incredibly useful for various things, for getting reach, getting your work out there, all that sort of stuff, you do become addicted to serving the algorithm because that's what it's designed for. And therefore your practice, your creative practice, and I've heard it from a lot of creatives that post their work on social, no longer becomes about the pure reason you started it for. It becomes about, oh, I didn't get likes on that piece that I posted, so it's probably not very good. It's the social proofing of your own work. But is that necessary for you to be a creative person? Do you need social proof on your work? Or are you creating because you're creating something for you to express, for you to feel?
I genuinely think whilst creativity is all about emotion, I also believe that creativity is about having an opinion.
Yeah, like imagine if social media was around when like Marcel Duchamp did his urinal and he posted it online and no one liked it. It would just die a death. And like no one would ever talk about...
Oh, like they built the pyramids and they were like, hey guys, built a pyramid.
No likes. Oh, we really fucked up there, guys. It didn't go viral.
Oh, I should probably stop now.
Literally. nobody likes my work. I'm going to stop being an artist now. Social media is great social proof, but unfortunately, that is counterproductive sometimes when, as a creative person, your sole purpose is to keep creating and expressing, to show people newness, to show people feeling and thought, and that doesn't mean it's not valid.
No, and like for me as well, like so much about creativity, whether it's for commercial work or whether it's about personal work, is so much about creating something to have an impact on someone, to make them feel a different way, to make them feel a certain way, to make them change their perspectives, to reinforce their perspective. It's not just about trying to find personal validation from other people that actually haven't stopped to acknowledge what you've done anyway.
Yeah, no one cares. Like, social media is so fast moving. You put some work up and then it's nobody cares the next day. Like, it's a pointless spiral anyway for creative validation.
Yeah.
And it's based on trends that come and go. Like, hello, Y2K is back in fashion suddenly. Never thought I'd see the day on that. But it will be gone again soon and it will be on to the next trend. You can't base your creative practice on that. So many creative people I know really have been affected by the vacuum of social media and the way it makes them feel about their own creative work. Mm-hmm. So many, from a commercial and personal point of view, me included, have had times where I've thought, I'm not good at this because nobody liked that thing I posted. But that is just a completely unnecessary trail of exploration and thought, because ultimately we've seen through history that without social media, some of the best, most incredible legacy building pieces of creative work have entered the world, survived the test of time, everything. If we're to detract on that theory just because of social media suddenly got born, it would be nonsensical. And actually, social media has only been on the planet for a very short amount of time. So it's social media that hasn't stood the test of time, if you think about it.
But also it will change.
It will drastically change. Just dialing back to all the things we discussed, to be honest, like creativity is born from a mindset, a feeling. It's all about feeling. And this personal exploration of being intrinsically linked to who you are and what you're trying to put out into the world. Not relying on computers or algorithms or social proof even to validate the work you create, I think, is very important.
How has your creativity helped you to find a place in the world?
I think what creativity has done for me has really allowed me to master the art of resilience. Genuinely mean that. Because anyone that has had a creative career of any sort for a long period of time, or a sufficient period of time, will know that it is an emotional roller coaster. To have a creative career or a creative occupation.
Oh, it's a hot mess.
Is a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint-hearted. Because as we've mentioned, it's completely ruled by subjectivity and other people's opinions and other people's thoughts. And you've got to be so okay with being challenged consistently, to have some people say they like it, some people say they don't like it, and to be able to deal with that, to not be able to draw a wrong or right, like we said at the start, unless you've got some sort of intent, but there's no sort of numerical data proven value to the work we create. It's just creativity, it's creative work. I really think it's given me resilience, and to be able to manage my emotions and thoughts, to not take things personally, and to know that this is just utterly my purpose, because for some crazy reason I just can't give up on it. I think it's really given me an anchor in the world to know, like, I truly, truly love this subject because I cannot let go. No matter what people say or do to me around this subject, I will not give up. And I actually feel grateful about that, because not everybody's born with that level of passion about a subject. I know I've got a lot of friends that are like, oh, I wish I cared about something as much as you care about that. Like they just don't. They're just not born into a thing like that.
That's a creative mindset.
If creativity wasn't a thing, I don't know what I'd be doing at all. Because it's all like talk about, think about, focus on, practice. And if you think about it, it's all really the world runs on.